students, we will understand what is heat exchanger and its type. Basically, in the first chapter itself, we have studied that the conduction, convection, and radiation are the three modes of the heat transfer. And in this particular case, we are going for the equipment design or equipment understanding, that is heat exchanger. So these are all basic natural phenomena. Conduction, convection, and radiation are natural phenomena. We have to convert it into an equipment because for the use of the human mankind. So to increase the comfort of the human mankind or the need of the industry, we have to design and make ready the heat exchanger. That is means using the same natural phenomena, conduction, convection, radiation, for the usefulness of the industry or any comfort. For example, refrigerator, air conditioning, or cooling the oil in the industry, transformer oil cooling, or any conversion from liquid to vapor and vapor to liquid. So in the radiator of the automobile or vehicle, you can see that the heat exchanger can be widely used. But using that phenomena in a better way is more important. How to use it is important. So when you visualize the heat exchanger, the definition, it is an equipment which transfer the energy from hot fluid to cold fluid, but the definition will not end there, but continues with maximum rate of heat transfer and minimum investment and running cost. So heat transfer should be at maximum rate. Not only the heat transfer should take place from hot fluid to cold fluid naturally, because the heat will always flow from high temperature to low temperature. Naturally, the heat will flow from hot fluid to cold fluid when they are associated or close to each other. But what is the aim of the heat exchanger is not only to transfer the energy from the hot fluid to cold fluid, however, along with that, maximum rate of heat transfer and minimum running cost and investment. Maximum heat transfer we have to go for, because the size of the heat exchanger we have to reduce it. If the rate of heat exchange is lower, then the size of the heat exchanger will be wider and bulky. You have to reduce it. You should have compact heat exchangers. Therefore, maximum rate of heat transfer is essential. Along with that, minimum investment is there. To manufacture the heat transfer equipment, we want very low investment, and running cost means the usage cost should be very low. So as much as possible, the running cost should be very low. That is the complete definition of the heat exchanger. Usually the student will struck there. They will only write, it is an equipment which transfers the energy from hot fluid to cold fluid. The sentence ends there itself. It is not like that. What they have to continue with maximum rate of heat transfer and with minimum investment and running cost. That is the complete definition. Then only we will get the full marks for that. So that is very important. Some definitions should be completely written, by hearted and completely written. Then only complete marks will be given, full marks will be given. So naturally this is an equipment. Now anybody can assume that what are the type of heat exchangers. So many heat exchangers are there, but we will classify according to our academics. First academic classification is depending on the nature of the heat exchange. So how it is? What is the nature of heat exchange? For example, here the direct contact and indirect contact. That is the principle. On which principle the classification is there? Depending on the nature of the heat exchange. Direct contact and indirect contact. So very good example is direct contact, means just pouring the cold water in hot water. So for example, we are going for bathing and very hot water is there, we will pour cold water directly. The cold water and hot water is directly mixed. That is called as direct contact heat exchange. This is ordinary. Means, but one thing we have to remember that the hot fluid and cold fluid should be same. If it is, both should be water, both should be same chemical composition. So water is also H2O, hot water is also H2O, and cold water is also H2O. Because of that, there is no problem for that. Mixing should not become a problem. There should not be any chemical reaction. Directly we can bring the contact of the hot water to cold water directly. That is called a direct contact heat exchanger. But most of our heat exchangers are indirect contact. Indirect contact means hot fluid and cold fluid will not be having the adhering to each other. Hot fluid will be separated and cold fluid will be separated, but the separation is very thin. Hot fluid will flow in one conduit and cold fluid will flow in the other conduit, but they are separated by compartment. So hot fluid will transfer the heat to the compartment in between wall, and that wall is in turn it will transfer to the cold fluid. Means the hot fluid and cold fluid is not allowed to mix. Why? Because hot fluid may be of the different chemical nature and cold fluid may be of different chemical nature. Mixing of these two will lead to chemical reaction but not heat exchange. To get the heat exchange, hot fluid and cold fluid are usually not allowed to mix and they are not allowed to contaminate. That is the intention. So we have, for example, in the transformer oil, if you want to bring down the temperature of the oil, we should not mix it with water. Water should be circulated only to bring down the temperature of the oil, which is high. That's all. But oil and water should not be mixed. Else otherwise it will be wasted, because oil will lose its viscosity and that lubrication property will be lost. So therefore 90% of the heat exchangers of indirect contact. There are that is called indirect contacts are more. So another one is that relative direction of flow. That is another base of the heat transfer or heat exchange is relative direction of flow. There already we have seen there is hot fluid and there is cold fluid. Hot fluid will flow in one direction and cold fluid in one direction. So depending on the direction of the flow, they have classified. Three classifications are there: parallel flow heat exchanger, counter flow heat exchanger and cross flow heat exchanger. Parallel flow heat exchanger, counter flow heat exchanger and cross flow heat exchanger. First one is called as parallel flow. So left of the diagram you can see cold fluid and hot fluid. If you compare the direction of the cold fluid and the direction of the hot fluid, they are same. They are flowing in the same direction. Cold fluid and hot fluid, they are in the same direction. And here also you can see the direction of the hot fluid and direction of the cold fluid, they are flowing in the same direction. This is a representation on temperature diagram. So TH1 means temperature of the hot fluid at the inlet. So inlet hot fluid temperature, that is called as TH1. What is TH2? Exit of the hot fluid. You can see a decrease in the temperature of the hot fluid because it is losing the heat. And whereas you can see TC1 and TC2. TC1 means temperature of the inlet of the cold fluid. The temperature is increasing because it is receiving the heat, and TC2 is the exit temperature of the cold fluid. TC1 is entry temperature of the cold fluid, TC2 is exit temperature of the cold fluid. So temperature of the cold fluid is rising, temperature of the hot fluid is decreasing, and both are flowing in the same direction. That is called as parallel flow heat exchanger. You can see the temperature difference is initially higher, you can see, and when it comes to the right direction, the temperature difference goes on decreasing. Ideally they should be equal, but that equal will not be there. So you can see that temperature difference is decreasing. That is called as parallel flow heat exchanger. Means the cold fluid and hot fluid, they are flowing in the same direction. So in the counter flow is the opposite to the parallel flow. Cold fluid and hot fluid, they are flowing in opposite direction. You can see hot fluid is in forward direction and cold fluid is in opposite direction. So you can see diagrammatically also, hot fluid, you can see the direction of the hot fluid is downward and cold fluid direction is upward. TH1, it is losing the temperature naturally. In any heat exchanger, hot fluid will lose the temperature, lose the heat, and cold fluid will gain the temperature and gain the heat. So that is natural in all heat exchanger. But TH1 direction, you can see hot fluid direction is in the forward direction, cold fluid is in the opposite direction. They are flowing opposite to each other. So here you can see almost everywhere the temperature difference remains same almost. And because of that, better heat transfer in this counter flow. When you see the parallel flow, you can see a decrease in the temperature difference. Temperature difference is decreasing. Here, almost good temperature difference is maintained. Why it is important? Because if the temperature difference is there, then there is a good heat transfer. Temperature difference is decreasing means heat transfer rate also decreases. So when you compare the parallel flow and counter flow, you can see that in the parallel flow, the temperature difference is drastically decreasing. Whereas in the counter flow, the temperature difference is fairly maintained. Because of that, from starting point to end point, we can see that temperature difference is maintained. Therefore, counter flow heat exchanger is superior to the parallel flow heat exchanger for the same area and same size. That is also important. So usually all of our heat exchanger is of counter flow only. No one will manufacture the parallel flow. So therefore, the temperature difference is continuously maintained because the cold fluid is continuously encountered with the hot fluid with a higher temperature. Because of that, we can see the high temperature difference is always maintained from starting point to end point. So TH1, TH2, TC1, TC2, the symbols will remain same, the meaning will remain same. There is no change in the meaning. TC1 means entry of the cold fluid, TC2 means exit of the cold fluid. TH1 means entry of the cold hot fluid, TH2 means exit of the hot fluid. This will remain same, but counter flow is superior to the parallel flow. Third one is called as cross flow heat exchanger. What is cross flow heat exchanger? Cold fluid and hot fluid, they are perpendicular to each other. You can see the 90 degree, approximately 90 degree, not necessarily 90 degree, but almost they are 90 degree to each other. Means hot fluid is flowing from downward and cold fluid is horizontal, or cold fluid may be downward top to bottom and hot fluid may be horizontal. Both can be there, both possibilities are there, but the flow is 90 degree to each other. That is called as cross flow heat exchanger. So a very good example is our radiator in the trucks or buses. You can see the hot water will flow from top to bottom, and cold fluid, and with the help of fan, the cold air will flow from the horizontal. So from in the radiator, the hot water is cooled because the hot water will come from the engine, and that engine water we have to cool it, else otherwise engine will seize. Therefore that water is cooled. So hot water is allowed to come down and cold fluid allowed to go for horizontal. So that is the best example for cross flow heat exchanger. Here this cross flow heat exchanger is provided whenever there is peculiarity, means the space is we cannot provide in other way. So only this arrangement is possible. There we can go for cold fluid and hot fluid. So another one is there, that is called as evaporators and condensers. So we'll see what is evaporator and what is condenser. Condenser, it is, and these evaporators. So condenser and evaporators. Condenser means converting vapors into liquid, and evaporator means converting liquid into vapor. But one condition is there. In condenser, the temperature should not be changed. Hot fluid will condense, means TH1 is equal to TH2. You can see for the condenser, this is horizontal and this is increasing. So TH1 is equal to TH2, TC1, TC2. You can see the cold fluid temperature is increasing, but hot fluid will remain same. So that is called as condenser. Means the vapors are converted to liquid but without changing the temperature. Vapors are converted to liquid but without changing the temperature. That is called as condenser. That is the ideal condenser. What is ideal condenser? Temperature of the vapor and temperature of the liquid after condensation should remain same. So that is called as condenser. Evaporator means what? Opposite to that. Evaporator means what? Opposite. Means the whatever the liquid is there converted to vapor without changing the temperature. That is the opposite to the condenser. So condenser and evaporator we will discuss in the later in a bigger way when you take up the problems. So when you see that heat exchanger and its type, different types are there, but these are the basic type of heat exchanger. What are the heat exchangers? First is the depending on the nature of the heat exchange. There is direct contact heat exchange and indirect contact. In the direct contact, directly hot fluid and cold fluid are coming in contact with each other. In the indirect contact, hot fluid is not allowed to mix with the cold fluid. So that is means all our 99% engineering applications are indirect type. Means hot fluid cannot be mixed with cold fluid because the chemical composition is different. Then in the relative direction of flow there are three types. What are those? Parallel flow, counter flow and cross flow. What is parallel flow? Parallel flow means the direction of the hot fluid and direction of the cold fluid are same direction, but in the opposite, in the counter flow it is opposite. They are hot fluid and cold fluid, they are opposite direction, flowing in the opposite direction. What is the advantage is that the counter flow is superior to parallel flow. Usually in the examination or in the practical labs, always the viva question is there. Among between the parallel flow and counter flow, which one is superior? So you will tell counter flow is superior to parallel flow. Why it is superior? Because the temperature difference is higher in the counter flow. Why the temperature difference is higher in the counter flow? Because always the cold fluid will find the higher temperature of the hot fluid. That is the basic reason. What we have to tell? The cold fluid in the counter flow heat exchanger always finds the high temperature of the hot fluid. So because of the encountering with the higher and higher temperature, the counter flow heat exchanger is superior to the parallel flow. That answer is should be there. Mostly all the students will fail in answering that. They will tell the counter flow is superior to parallel flow, but why? The physical reason is not given. So cross flow means cross flow already they are 90 degree to each other. So these are the called as heat exchangers.